Hey YouTube, Eurosceptics and those among you with a disdain for the inefficient bureaucratic process probably won't be that surprised by this story. Let's take a closer look at it. It's from The Independent. Brexit talks stalled as UK and EU yet to agree video conferencing timetable. Brexit trade talks have stalled with negotiators yet to agree a timetable for video conferencing to replace meetings disrupted by the coronavirus pandemic. A spokesperson for the EU Commission's negotiating team said on Tuesday that Michel Barnier, the chief negotiator, would talk to his UK counterpart David Frost next week to try and reach an agreement on a timetable for the next steps in order to move negotiations forward. Discussions last week and this week have been limited to technical contact between the two sides, the spokesperson said, with no real negotiation taking place despite major distances between both sides. Now, this appears just to be the EU's stance at the moment, just whittle down the time, just time waste, because they know come the end of June, the UK has to decide if it's going to ask for a extension to the transitional period or not. I mean, this is something I've worried about for a number of weeks now. We'll read from here. A new survey carried out by pollsters JL Partners for WPI Strategy found that just 19% of people support the government's strategy of severing ties with the EU at the end of 2020, no matter what. So only 19% of people surveyed. Now, polls are often wrong, but from this poll, only 19% of people favour what would be a WTO Brexit, sever all ties at any cost. By contrast, 38% of British people think the government should extend the UK's transition period indefinitely, or however long it takes till the coronavirus outbreak is over. I mean, if the UK asks for an extension, it's probably going to be a fairly long one, because if it's 6 months, a year, the coronavirus problem, and especially the economic effects of it, are still going to be around. I mean, the economic effects are going to be here for years now. A total of 67% of voters think that the transition period should be extended in some form, with others endorsing 6 months to a year as possible timescales. As I say again, 6 months a year isn't going to be enough anyway. You probably want to go the whole hog and do it 2 years or more. Now, this isn't something I want. We started talking about this 2-3 weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago and 3 weeks ago. I made two separate videos saying that as the deaths from coronavirus increase, there's going to be a lot more pressure on the government to extend. One of the videos, which funnily enough was had the lowest like to dislike ratio of any video I think I've ever done. It was something only about like 57% of the likes versus dislikes were up. So yeah, that was a pretty impressive video. I think a lot of people hated that. That video came out on the 21st of March. It's been very heavily critical of Boris Johnson and the idea that a Brexit extension is going to be quite probable. Certainly at this point, I'm still not saying this is definite. I'm saying something like an Brexit extension of the transition period is probable. It's probably something like 50-60% at this point that we will extend, in my opinion. I made that video on the 21st of March. On the 21st of March, 178 people had died of coronavirus. I think out there, a lot of people thought everything would just continue as normal with Brexit. Cut to today, so this video is made on the 8th of April. The current official death rate in the UK is 6,159. We've gone from 178 to 6,159. That is the nature of an exponential curve. Expecting the next few days to go past 10,000. I think I said in one of the videos, I don't know if it was that video on the 21st, but it's certainly one that, you know, once we're stacking bodies at 10,000, it's going to be a different political environment. Now, I tried to raise the alarm on this. I even posted this video to a Facebook group on a pro-Brexit Facebook group. I actually got called. That post was deleted. My video was deleted from this group. It was just a YouTube link, but I put the YouTube link, to this channel, that video on the 21st of March. I got called a Joe Swinson shill by the admin on that Facebook group, and the post was deleted. Even though I'm like pro-Brexit, I'm just trying to raise the alarm. I was trying to urge people to, contact their MP, start making noise, that don't just believe these polls, it's only 19%, make noise, contact your MP. I was called a Joe Swinson shill. I don't know whether use Joe Swinson isn't even an MP anymore. That's just like an irrelevant character to, but apparently I'm a Joe Swinson shill, which I thought was quite funny. I love the hate. I love that. I really enjoy this channel starting to get some trolls now, because I just love the interaction, and the trolling's great. But that was the opinion of a pro Brexit Facebook group. Now, I'm not a high IQ person. I've only just came to the conclusion that the Brexit extension would be probable, just looking at the modus operandi of the Tory party, how they talk strong and then back down at the last minute. They've done this on many issues. It's not just Brexit. This is a common method that the Tory party use to drum up support. They talk very tough, and at the 11th hour they just, whoa, what the hell, would they just back off? It happened on Brexit, it's happened on many different issues. So I'm not high IQ, it's just looking at the methodology of the Tory party and also looking at the methodology of the EU, the way they go about things. They know they can time waste now. They know every day that ticks down until June is going to be with increasing probability that the UK has to ask for an extension. Now, we have June as a backstop date that the extension has to be requested. But don't forget, negotiations have to pretty much, the whole deal needs to be packaged up by late November. And it's like 6 months away. So they think they can get everything wrapped up in 6 months. I think this is fantasy land. We've talked about in some other videos. The only real options we have now is request an extension or go for a WTO Brexit. I don't think, just judging by these polls, just judging what I see in the streets, judging by the noises that politicians are making, I don't really think that, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. When I make these videos, it's not like, this isn't like the Nostradamus bunker. I'm not trying to say like predictions and then want them to come true. I'm saying things that I'm worrying about looking at the political landscape. Of course I've been making pro-Brexit videos for like, I don't know how long it is now, multiple years anyway. This is not, I'm not suddenly change my mind and become a Remainer, right? And this isn't the Nostradamus bunker. I don't, just because I say I think this may happen with there's a significant probability of this happening, I don't want it to happen. I'm urging people, make noise, email your MP. I've given you like the email that I sent. You can just copy and paste and send that to your MP. All right, I really want this to happen. I don't want these predictions to come true. So this is just what's happening in the world anyway. Like, obviously, this link is from the Independent. That's a Remainer paper, right? So, on the counter argument, you could say there are other newspapers. Even things like the Telegraph aren't really making that much noise on this Brexit issue now. This seems to be unfolding in a similar pattern like it did when Theresa May talked very tough on Brexit. Then it seems to be unfolding in a similar way again, how Boris Johnson talked very tough up until October when we should have left but didn't. So this is straight out the standard Tory playbook. If they said they're going to extend now in June, I think the average person in the UK will just accept that. They will just accept that because fear is just spreading through society at the moment, right? People are panicking. Boris Johnson himself is in a critical condition with coronavirus. So the fear's there, and it's easy for politicians to kind of do whatever they want when there's a fearful environment. People talking about the economy. The economy is irrelevant. WTO Brexit will probably not even be noticeable in terms of how damaged the economy is. If you're worried about the economy, the government should be doing everything in their power to make this lockdown as short as possible, right? That's going to be a significant boost, if you can call it that. For every like day shorter that the lockdown can be, that's going to be way more important than just what a WTO Brexit will be. I don't know, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. I think it's just an interesting one. Even if we extend, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, because sooner or later Italy's probably going to leave. The EU project is failed now, right? I'm certainly not Remain. Like, this is a doomed project. I think we should run away from it as quickly as possible, because we don't want to be tied to the ship as it's sinking. But it's probably quite possible now that Italy just leaves before us. It's probably something like 25-30% chance that Italy just goes before us, because they're not going to mess around, with transitional periods and worrying about the economic. They're just going to go. They're just going to be like, right, okay, or they just get ejected because they just do some wild stuff like introducing the mini bots, or just saying like we're not going to dance to your tune anymore, right? So you either eject us or we just go, right? They're just leaving a very, very short time scale. It won't take like 4 years for them to leave. It's just interesting one anyway. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. What do you think of these polls? Are these polls accurate to the feel on the ground where you are? Because obviously with lockdown now, it's even difficult to talk to other people, right? So I think maybe we're all a little bit too focused on the media. Maybe that's a good thing for the government. Maybe that's a bad thing for the government. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Is Brexit going to be extended? Been talking about this for a few weeks now. Had a lot of hate up until now. I don't really mind the thumbs down or the troll comments. I actually quite enjoy it. So yeah. Thanks for watching this video anyway, guys. And I will see you in the next one.